everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amelia, and here on this channel we talk about writing, journaling, and productivity to help you curate a life that you love. So for today, I wanted to create a video that kind of elaborates on another video that I recently uploaded to the channel, and that other video was why I don't like normal bullet journaling. So today, I'm going to be showing you guys the inner workings of my bullet journal, what it looks like, what I don't like, and just kind of elaborate further on that topic, as well as show you guys how I set up my bullet journal just in general. Before we get into this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more journaling content. Also, a heads up, in a few days I will be posting my June scrapbook spread. It was definitely a fun one, and now that summer is basically here, I'm super excited for you guys to see that as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so if you've been following me for some time now, you know that there was a good period of time where I was obsessed with bullet journaling and productivity because I really liked the written productivity tools. There's something about it. I don't know, I just really like it. So I spent a lot of time looking at journal spreads and bullet journal spreads and really trying to dive into the world of artistic bullet journaling, artistic productivity tools. Well, long story short, that didn't work out so well for me, and here we are. So right here we have my bullet journal. It's actually pretty filled up. I think, oh my goodness. Yeah, we're right. So this stuff is filled, this stuff is not. And part of the reason that it's filled up so much is because I can't write on the front and back of a page because it bleeds through. So if you want, I haven't set up my June thing yet, but you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it kind of bleeds through here. So that's really unfortunate. It's not the best bullet journal in the world. I probably would pick a different one. I actually have a note on the back that tells me what kind of paper I need for my bullet journals, but I do plan to buy my new bullet journal from the same place I bought this one. So I bought this bullet journal from Kinokuniya, which is a Japanese bookstore, but I really love that bookstore, and so I got my bullet journal from there, and this bullet journal is by Fabriano. When I first got my bullet journal, I was super excited to dive into the artistic, like, excessive pages. I wasn't really planning to use it as a productivity tool. I mean, yes and no, because I wanted a planner. I wanted it to be my own planner, something that I made for myself. So, but I was also really excited to be artistic about it. So you see, bullet journaling. So I started out with my first page, which was saying hello to 2021. And again, because it bled through, I have these little washi tapes on the sides because there's like 4 pages here because it bled through so bad. But it was exciting to make the cover page. It's something that I kind of wish I would have done a little bit better on for my own scrapbook, but I'm also okay with not having that cover page in a way. On this page, there's also a word of the year, which is growth, because I wanted my year to be filled with growth. And this is also something I've included in my scrapbook pages as well. So it's not like it's totally random that I just did it for aesthetic purposes. I mean, I did, but I also find use for it. The next segment of pages on my bullet journal is the 2021 calendar, which I never use. It's just there for aesthetic purposes. It's pointless, so I don't know if I really like it or not. And then I wrote my overall goals for the year, which I also haven't really come back to many times because things have changed so much since the beginning of the year, so I feel like I need to reevaluate my goals. Following that, I do have the lunar phases page for 2021 as well as a calendar on the side. These were not my ideas at all. I actually found these pictures on Pinterest. I'll put them on the screen and link them below if I can, but it was inspired from someone else's image. I just remade it. So this is not mine, but I did change the lunar phases to suit 2021, if that makes sense, because I believe this was a calendar for like a different year. I also want to point out I don't use this either. I feel like that's what most of my bullet journal in the beginning is going to be. It's going to be me saying I made this, but I didn't even use it. So again, part of the reason I think is just because I need a bullet journal to be practical and I don't want it to be so artistic. I will say though that I absolutely love using this in like B-roll shots, and I love putting it out on the table with like little crystals and like jewelry and such because I think it looks really pretty as like a B-roll shot or even just for photos for my blog. So I do admire the artisticity, I do admire the art. And I definitely want to use it in the future for that, but it's not really practical. The next thing that I have is this books to read page. Again, also something inspired from Pinterest. I'll try to link it if I can, but it's not my own creation. But it is really fun. I have colored in a few of the books I've read, but I haven't colored in all of them, and I find that I would prefer to track my reading progress through Goodreads rather than through the bullet journal, if that makes any sense. I don't really know why. I just think it could be because Goodreads has like reviews. I can, you know, annotate like on my Kindle and stuff, or even if I'm reading in a physical hard copy book, it's just a lot easier to keep track of things digitally. I'm not really sure, but I prefer Goodreads for book tracking over the book pages. The next few pages are pages that I'm not going to share on screen because they are very in-depth for my work in progress novel. So I am writing a novel, if you didn't know. I'm writing a novel, guys, and it is a fantasy genre novel. I've written 2 books before this, and I independently published both. One's a poetry collection, and another one is in the horror mystery genre. I've been really excited about this one. I've been working on it for quite a while, and I plan to traditionally publish somehow. So if you guys want to know more about that, let me know, and I will make a video going into depth about being a writer and what it's like, how I go about that, how journaling helps me. Like, there's a lot of content we can do about that, but the pages that I skipped in this bullet journal are all dedicated to that work in progress novel, and I'm not really comfortable sharing them on screen just yet. Maybe after the book is published, but at the moment, not yet. And then we get into the first spread for January. I actually published this video of me making it on my channel, but I have to say that it's not something that sparks any joy whatsoever. The calligraphy is great because I spent forever trying to write in pretty font, which I do like. I wish I would do it more in my scrapbook rather than rushing things, but what I don't really favor is just that I never used it. I mean, this page here is completely wasted. It's just the word January with some pretty details, but I don't even use it. It's a wasted page as far as I'm concerned, and I hardly even used this calendar either. So I find that I tend to use digital calendars a lot more, especially since discovering Notion. So now I'm like obsessed with that, and I just don't really have a reason to use this. And I do have a wall calendar, which you may have seen in some of my vlogs, up in my kitchen, and that honestly holds all of my big events, and there's not really any reason to make a second full month calendar in a bullet journal. Something else I found out I didn't really like in bullet journaling pretty quickly was the mood trackers and habit trackers. I just didn't find them useful. I couldn't stick with them. I can stick with habit trackers, but I can't stick with the pretty habit trackers, if that makes sense. I like having habit trackers that stay on one page and are kind of like by day rather than by habit. And I tried to make one by habit. It didn't really work for me. I didn't end up like documenting it at all. And I found that the colors that I used and all of the decorative bits in this spread didn't really make me feel productive at all, and it did kind of feel like I wasted my time making it when I didn't even use it. The same goes for the weekly spreads. I couldn't really stick with them. I tried very hard to use them, but because there's just limited space to write and it was just a lot going on, I couldn't do it. And I realized since then that I am a minimalist bullet journal person, and I like doing it in a more more minimalist way. I am failing at language today. So this brings us to February, and honestly, my every spread is basically the same after February, which you'll see my March one on the screen as well. I tend to make the calendar for the month, and then following the calendar, I have a week, so it'll be like a week at the top, and then like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes I include Saturday, Sunday, and in those instances, I will have like the whole week over one spread, but it's just a straight line with the day of the week, the date, that's it. I hardly put any doodles or anything. If I do, it's because I got bored, but I typically don't put any doodles or stickers, and I try to keep it to like one color, maybe two. I don't need more than 2 colors per page or it gets really distracting. And while I love seeing artistic bullet journals, I just can't do it. I realize it's too distracting, and I would rather have something that's just very plain and easy to follow along with. One thing I do like using my bullet journal for, however, that I haven't covered yet, is using it for journaling challenges like the Level 10 Life Challenge. I have a video on that as well, which I will link below, but I made it at the beginning of the year and I really enjoyed it, and it's something that I definitely need to do again, probably before third quarter starts, I would say. It's just something that has helped me kind of evaluate my life, where I am, how I'm feeling, and it's been really nice. And I also like adding new goals for myself after doing the Level 10 Life Challenge. I've also done other journaling challenges inside my bullet journal, mostly if they're connected to productivity. Anything that requires like writing prompts, I'll do in my special writing journal, which you've seen dozens of times on this channel. But I don't really like to do anything too artistic or too intensive in this journal. It's mostly just for thoughts and lists and keeping my life together. When it comes to moving forward with my bullet journal, I've kind of already made a sort of routine when it comes to making my pages. I always have my calendar spread, which, you know, extends on the 2 pages with some notes and some goals, and then I have each weekly spread, which is just lines, the day, the date, but I found that this is the best method for me. I do like highlighting things with my Crayola Super Tips. They're like my favorite markers, and so I highlight all of my days that way, which is what you've seen. But I have to say that I don't really want to do artistic drawings or anything in the journal, and if you're like me, that's okay. You can do art in a separate medium, in a separate space. It doesn't have to be in your bullet journal, and I think that a big problem that I've seen when it comes to bullet journals is that a lot of them try to be artistic, which is fine. That works for a lot of people, but for some of us, it's easier just to keep your productivity medium separate from your creative medium. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was sort of informative or inspiring somehow. I feel like I just kind of ranted about my journal, but it was a tour. I wanted to show you what was inside my little journal and how I use it for productivity. If you want to learn more about my digital productivity, please be sure to let me know. And of course, if you want to see more journaling content of any sort whatsoever, I love hearing your reactions, what you like, what you don't, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's time to end this video. I've ranted for far too long. So until next time, I will catch you later.